Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in New Zealand visit Christchurch to bring some aid relief to Kaikoura quake survivors. In Taiwan, we meet one wealthy businessman's wife who's working hard to protect the environment. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. On November 14th, just after midnight local New Zealand time, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck near Kaikoura, a tourist town along the northeast coastal area. As major roadways were damaged, isolating the town, the government dispatched Navy ships to rescue the trapped residents as well as tourists. Tzu Chi volunteers visited emergency shelters to see how they could help. As it turns out, while other aid items were plentiful, the blankets Tzu Chi brought were really needed. Tzu Chi volunteers visit Spencer Beach Holiday Park in Christchurch, where two groups of quake evacuees have been sheltered.
Those families with children are given rooms with a bathroom. Others have to share public bathrooms.
Three Tzu Chi volunteers have brought 504 bottles of drinking water, 40 eco-friendly blankets, and 50 sets of dining utensils to help as they wait for the third group of Kaikoura evacuees to arrive. On November 20th, the shuttle bus arrives with 11 evacuees, which included German and Taiwanese tourists, as well as local New Zealanders. From Kaikoura to Christchurch, it normally takes 2 hours by car. However, the 7.8 earthquake damaged the roads. Thus, the government had to dispatch naval ships to help evacuate the nearly 4,500 people. At each of the 3 emergency shelters, the survivors of the quake could only stay 3 days. But Tzu Chi's love is sure to accompany them wherever they go through the warm, eco-friendly blanket. Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Xiaoshen, originally from Guangzhou, China, served as a media volunteer for many years. She moved to the United States earlier this year with her family, but then discovered she had stage 4 liver cancer. In September, Wu fell into a coma and was hospitalized. After learning of the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers in the U.S. were there to care for their Dharma family member throughout her last days.
小轩你好。
Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Xiaoshen had been hospitalized in Alhambra Hospital Medical Center in California since early September due to terminal liver cancer. On this day, it was the first time she rallied back from her coma.
庆祝你生日，还有我们21周年。生日快乐！
Wu Xiaoshen's husband, Chen Jindian, seized the moments to celebrate 2 big days with the assistance of local Tzu Chi volunteers.
Through this celebration, I want to encourage everyone to bravely face the impermanence of life. My wife keeps encouraging me to open my heart and be optimistic when impermanence occurs in our lives.
We try everything possible to help this Tzu Chi family member and comfort her. We hope that she can be calm during this difficult time.
Ex-daughters told Wu Xiaoshen's family members that health had worsened as she approached the end of her life. They seized the chance to pour out their hearts with their Tzu Chi family.
我太太一直做慈济，我非常支持她。
I supported my wife when doing Tzu Chi activities, and sometimes I joined her. But I wasn't able to do it like her. In the future, I will surely devote my time to volunteering and following Tzu Chi.
抽出更多的学生来做慈济。
It is great to do something meaningful. I think we shouldn't always stay at home and recall the old days. Instead, we should seize the moment and look forward to our future. This is the most important thing in our life.
Chen Jingdian continues his wife's mission by devoting his time to volunteering. Currently, he is one of the Tzu Chi media volunteers at the Tzu Chi El Monte Liaison Office, spreading love and compassion to the needy.
In Taiwan, Hou Jia-shou had been teaching at Danfeng Elementary for 30 years before her retirement. Unfortunately, she passed away due to lung adenocarcinoma in early November this year. Her family members helped fulfill her last wish to donate her savings to many charitable organizations, including the Tzu Chi Foundation.
Everyone is singing sutras to mourn the loss of a teacher, Hou Jia-shou. Though she passed away in early November, her spirit lives on in everyone's heart.
Every time a disaster took place, if we needed to raise more money, we didn't have to ask her for help because she always came first to donate money.
The beneficiary on her policy is the Tzu Chi Foundation. So as her family members, we helped her fulfill her last wish to donate her savings to Tzu Chi.
Hou Jia-shou had been teaching at Danfeng Elementary School for 30 years. After she graduated from a teacher's college at 20 years old, she dedicated her whole life to education and donated $156,735 as part of her will to help impoverished students. Her endless devotion was recognized by the Education Department of the new Taipei City government.
As she devoted her lifetime to assisting the students at Danfeng Elementary School, all of the students have been inspired to study hard.
She said that she had benefited from society, so she wanted to pay back society. We carried out her last wish to donate her money to many charitable organizations.
To commemorate Hou Jia-shou's good deeds and endless devotion, Danfeng Elementary has named a garden on campus after her.
She had been teaching at Danfeng Elementary School for 30 years and devoted herself to education. We must pass on her inspirational stories.
Hou Jia-shou has passed away following the natural course of life. However, her selfless and endless love continues to spread to others.
Students from Yongping High School in New Taipei City recently made a visit to the Yonghe Senior Care Center to spread some love. While there, some Tzu Chi volunteers help facilitate interactions between the young and the elderly.
Students from Yongping High School in New Taipei make a visit to the Yonghe Senior Care Center to show some care for the elderly. However, when they first arrived, they seemed at a loss. Tzu Chi volunteers at the center gave the kids tips on how to interact with these seniors, and the students were fast learners.
Of course, helping out the seniors is great. It's hard to find the opportunity, so we want to take the opportunity when we have it. When we make them happy, I become happy myself.
Thanks to the guidance of volunteers, the seniors and the students work together on a card that will serve as a memory of the friendships formed today.
After the passage of an amendment to the Animal Protection Act in Taiwan, many worry the public will be even more emboldened to discard the family's pets, simply letting the government or NGOs to adopt them. Private animal welfare service groups says neutering animals is easy compared to finding new homes for them. Today, we take a look at the situation in regards to cats.
Animal welfare groups struggle with decisions to feed or capture stray animals. Cats living in animal shelters are just 10% of the shelter's population. Those who love cats know that there must be a better way to care for them rather than putting them in cages. Walking into this quiet apartment, no one would expect to see so many cats.
They dumped chemicals on this cat, damaging more than half of its body, and even now part of its back can't grow any hair. And this cat only has its 2 front feet as it came in from the Kaohsiung Shoushan shelter. Many think that shelters can also treat injured cats, but in fact, this only delays the proper treatment that cats need.
In addition to spending $110,000 a month to care for stray cats, they also promote the stray cat neutering program. TNR refers to trap, neuter, and return, which is the most effective way to stop the spread of stray cats. After sterilization, a little part of their ear is snipped.
Without neutering, they will make a lot of noise and will fight, then give birth to kittens. If you do the sterilization and take the cat back home, there is no problem at all, and you can effectively control the cat population.
哪边还没有结扎？有很多只吗？
Today, volunteers once again received another notice from the public as TNR is about to visit another municipality.
This is a relatively large cage to capture a large male cat, and these are smaller cages which can be placed under a car.
There are 2 male cats over here and about 2 or 3 females. They have all birth kittens because they haven't been neutered, so they keep breeding.
收到了。
是不是平常喂的那一只？
是。
On this night, 5 stray cats were successfully caught.
因为接下来再不扎，天气。
Soon we need to take a break from sterilization because the weather is getting cold and it's quite risky for female cats, as we have to shave their abdomen and they can easily catch colds. So we try to finish all the neutering for female cats by October.
In fact, many volunteers like to foster these cats, as they say sending the cats to others to care for is quite difficult. Victoria opened a sort of cat hostel in order to help more stray cats find homes, but she doesn't want her face to appear in this interview because she is afraid that more cats will be given to her.
当然，送养猫咪都是随缘。
Sending cats for adoption is based on fate, and the saddest thing is people returning cats, which makes me not want to do this adoption service. Some will raise a cat for 3 to 5 years and then send it back. The cat actually knows it has been abandoned.
There are lots of reasons why cats are returned, leading this woman who cares for strays to feel quite frustrated.
很多收容所有很多那种被弃养的猫。
Many shelters for stray cats are not ideal, with some cats not eating and drinking and simply choosing to die.
No matter how good the shelter is, it is still not as good as a home. Volunteers are asking relevant agencies to develop a few SOP measures for strays and, more importantly, educate the people.
Of course, we need to appeal to people not to abandon animals, which can be a very cruel thing.
If one discards an animal, should someone else be required to care for it? When you look into these innocent eyes, we should think for a minute about these consequences and really contemplate the pain of abandonment.
它没有主人。
On Master Chun Yen's tour around Taiwan, she recently stopped in Tainan. The master met with rescue workers and survivors of the Meinong earthquake that occurred earlier this year, including Hong Jia-yi, who was only recently discharged from the hospital. At the Jingsi Hall in Tainan, volunteers also put on a suture performance, as well as a candlelight ceremony to pray for world peace.
These volunteers on stage are acting out a suture performance meant to symbolize the Dharma in practice and realizing the Dharma in one's own heart. Master Chun Yen, who stopped by the Tainan Jingsi Hall, also took a moment to share a word about the earthquake that hit Tainan earlier this year.
警察义警吼，那甲消防也拢做伴伫迄个所在，供应大家人。 的饮食啦，供应大家人所需要的。
It was very cold at 3 in the morning. The Tzu Chi volunteers were all saying, "It's so cold and you're working so hard." So they wanted to give us hugs and warm us up by giving us neck warmers.
The police chief expressed his gratitude to the master and Tzu Chi on behalf of his colleagues. Some police officers even participated in the suture performance, along with local recycling volunteers. The master also praised the goodwill and commitment of the local community.
大家人甲爱粘集在一起啦，有一个方向，咱都有安尼的组织， 会当伫社会每一个角落呢，伸出援手去帮助人。
At a candlelight ceremony at the Jingsi Hall in Tainan, volunteers, along with Master Chun Yen, prayed for the peace and safety of all mankind. Also, while visiting Tainan, the Master met a survivor of the Meinong earthquake earlier this year. Seated in a wheelchair yet keeping a smile on his face is Hong Jia, a victim of the Meinong earthquake in Tainan. Mr. Hong was just released from the hospital on the 17th of November. He has come to express his gratitude to Master Chun Yen. The Master offers blessings and also uses the story of Hong Jia as a lesson about impermanence for all of her disciples.
咱要好好珍惜每一天的平安。
After the earthquake occurred on February 6th, Hong Jia lost consciousness and was trapped in the rubble of the Wagwan apartment building. To save his life, he had to have his legs amputated. After 9 months and 20 surgeries, he was finally released. By his side through it all were Tzu Chi volunteers. The Master also praised the unceasing care that local volunteers provided Mr. Hong.
真干净，真清。敢若有爱，无有其他复杂的伫内底咧。自这人拢是安尼啊，就是清净无染的大爱。规求观世音菩萨讲，伊若见到我会甲接受。
Making a tour of the memorial exhibit in the Tainan Jingsi Hall, Master Chun Yen takes note of every photograph and each story of Tzu Chi volunteers' devotion to helping the victims of the Meinong earthquake.
Staying in Tainan, Huang Qiuxiang is a 67-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer who could be taking it easy as the wife of a businessman, but instead she drives around town in her car picking up recyclables. Let's see how she influences those around her.
67-year-old Huang Qiuxiang is ready to pick up recyclables with her car.
When I drive on the road and see a pile of recyclables on the roadside, I'll stop the car, organize them, and put them in my car.
Her old friends know that Huang Qiuxiang is enthusiastic about doing recycling. She even transports them with her car. She now drives a station wagon so she can transport more recyclables. Besides doing recycling in factories, even when she attends a wedding banquet, she never forgets to do recycling there.
In a banquet, she will collect all the bottles, cans, and even paper covers for chopsticks. We have told her to wait until all the guests have left, but she said it was all right, because she didn't want all these resources to be thrown away as garbage.
In addition to recycling, Huang Qiuxiang also does good deeds. Her husband owns a company, but it doesn't make her haughty. She always does things herself and hopes to appeal to more people to do good deeds with her.
Moving to Hualien, Tzu Chi University hosted a sports day in celebration of its 22nd anniversary. Students and teachers on campus, as well as Eden mothers and Sitan fathers, all joined to celebrate this joyous occasion.
A group of seniors who are at the age of 65 or older are performing with drums to kick off the sports day in celebration of Tzu Chi University's 22nd anniversary. The special sport is testing the cooperation and coordination of a team, as it requires 20 people to work together to complete a mission. A student who came from Malaysia's University of Science partnered with her classmates to successfully reach the finish line.
It is very exciting to experience this kind of sport because all of us are students from the Department of Sport. We definitely have a passion for sport. We all enjoy this game.
It is great to work together with everyone. We won a match today, so I think we had effective teamwork.
The fathers and mothers have divided into different groups to compete in the games. They're all geared up to win games like tug of war or fun races.
After participating in this activity, I realized why each sportsman keeps working hard. I have learned from this experience that I should seize this chance to learn the spirits of perseverance and also learn about teamwork.
On sports day, all the teachers and students are working together to challenge their personal limits, all while exhibiting great sportsmanship.
Next, we have some medical news. Lower back pain is a common problem among working adults and can often be the result of long-term bad posture. We'll make a visit to Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital and see what kinds of treatment are recommended by doctors and physical therapists.
I can't sit down, can't stand up, and can't lay down. It's just like a needle poking my body. It hurts and is sore.
Mr. Huang had been dealing with chronic lower back pain for many years and taking heavy doses of medicine which caused stomach inflammation. Eventually, he came to Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital for treatment.
If we see 10 people at the hospital, 9 of them probably don't need surgery for treatment. Often they can be treated other ways. For the one person that does require surgery, there may be a less than a 10% chance for the surgery.
For the issue of lower back pain, which is common in Taiwan, doctors will generally recommend physical therapy for treatment to relieve their pain.
After applying heat and stretching and maybe some electric therapy, usually that is enough to lessen the problems of lower back pain.
Because of lower back pain, many also develop long-term posture problems. In addition to the rehabilitation, people should be careful to monitor their posture, especially when sitting.
要挺胸嘛，哈，然后缩小腹，然后这个地方90度，90度，脚自然的垂下。
Besides good posture, patients may also take time to improve their core strength and muscle power.
就跨到右脚，那挺直之后呢，把你的右手呢往前跨，跨到你的左边的膝盖，然后呢头慢慢的转向你的左后方。
While rehabilitation and exercise for strength can be great for relieving back pain problems, it is very important to maintain proper posture in order to avoid the recurrence of such problems in the future.
In Hsinchu, Tzu Chi volunteers and team members visited the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation care home to help patients in permanent vegetative states with their oral health. Although these individuals could not express their thanks, the dentists still worked hard to complete this important task.
Recently, Timo went to visit the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation care home in Hsinchu to clean the teeth of PVS patients. Including sputum and extraction of saliva can all be a discomfort to these individuals, but oral hygiene for PVS individuals can prevent more complications in the future. For this reason, Tima, along with volunteers, mobilized to quickly address this issue.
After joining this event, I was very moved, and I think that I learned a lot of things.
感觉怎么样？洗了以后是不是舒服一点呢？
During the treatment, volunteers were also on hand to judge the reaction from PVS patients who can't directly communicate, checking for any reaction and offering assistance during this procedure.
To give life more meaning, the Taichung Veterans General Hospital held an organ donation promotion campaign to educate members of the public on how giving selflessly can help save a life. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.